TikTok is a plague on our society, but unfortunately, this widely known fact hasn't slowed its popularity. It's now the most used app by kids in the United States, with US teens spending an average of 113 minutes per day on the platform. That's insane. It's not the dancing app anymore. It is the platform that completely controls teens, molding their beliefs and shortening their attention spans with every swipe. It's destroying Gen Z. To understand how we got here and where we're headed, we have to talk about the initial TikTok explosion that occurred in 2020. Up until 2019, the social apps that controlled the lives of teens were Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and YouTube. Of course, this era of social media had flaws. Endless Instagram scrolls, for example, weren't great for the young mind, but it was better than what was to come. As in 2020, a new platform began to steal every teenager's attention: TikTok. When global events caused people to stay indoors, people's desperation for entertainment led them to TikTok. It felt revolutionary. Each swipe gave a new meme, new dance, new comedy bit that provided a dopamine hit. Despite the app coming to the US 3 years prior, in 2017, this was the TikTok boom. In March 2020, global downloads jumped 51% from the year prior. Before anyone had the chance to blink, teens in the US were reporting TikTok as their #2 favorite social media app, only second to Snapchat. As its popularity snowballed, celebrities like Jennifer Lopez, Jason Derulo, Megan Thee Stallion began jumping in. TikTok wasn't an app that helped people discuss the larger culture. TikTok was driving the culture. And at the time, the public had a positive perception of TikTok. Instagram was the fake Photoshop platform, whereas TikTok was the place for self-expression and authenticity. Little did most people understand what was happening beneath the surface. To understand that, you need to see the true origins of TikTok. In 2016, an app called Musical.ly was taking over middle schools across America, but for all of the wrong reasons. It was popular with 12-year-olds, but that was really it. It started as an educational video app, which nobody in the market wanted, so they switched up to an app that allowed song lip-syncing and movie reenactments. This allowed them to grow to 20 million users in the United States, but this was far below where they'd need to be to become a top social media platform. Their saving grace came when Chinese technology giant ByteDance swooped them up for $1 billion. ByteDance at this time was the most valuable startup in the world, with a $75 billion valuation, beating Uber's $72 billion valuation. The Beijing-based internet tech company already held billions of users globally across all of their apps, quickly becoming one of China's most valuable assets. They were a technology monolith, and they had already made strides in the world of short-form entertainment thanks to their short-form app, Douyin, aka TikTok 1.0. This was released in China in 2016 with the aim of being a video-based Facebook/Instagram, as those platforms were banned in China. After they acquired Musical.ly in 2017, they integrated the app's suite of tools and features into Douyin. The two apps coming together is what made TikTok the app that ByteDance knew would finally allow them to dominate in the United States. In 2018, they began pushing out TikTok globally with one little trick up their sleeves for user acquisition: a one-of-a-kind algorithm. And this algorithm was brilliant. Instead of making the app's source of entertainment being around people you choose to follow, TikTok would push content that it algorithmically learned you probably like. And it worked. This is what made TikTok a runaway success, which is amazing for one key reason. This was the first time a Chinese tech product had successfully exploded in the United States. This had never happened before. At the same time, this is where it became concerning, because TikTok isn't sort of popular with teens, it owns the lives of teens. In 2020, it was a big deal when teens began spending more time on TikTok than YouTube, 82 minutes daily on TikTok versus 75 minutes daily on YouTube. But now, oh boy, that was nothing. In 2022, teens were using TikTok for 107 minutes daily versus 67 minutes daily for YouTube. The why isn't a mystery. The algorithm for TikTok is an absolute vacuum, which was the intention from the very start. With one swipe, a user is presented with a new piece of fast-paced content that will provide them entertainment. But what are these endless swipes doing to the young brain? Studies from the early 2000s showed that young millennials had an attention span of about 12 seconds. Today, the Gen Z attention span is estimated at 1.3 seconds. And it shouldn't be a surprise, as each TikTok video is 21 to 34 seconds in length. An average user will swipe through 200 TikToks in one session. This is sending a signal to the brain: only stay focused if you're receiving gratification. Otherwise, swipe away. That's why high schoolers are reporting a harder time than ever concentrating on homework and staying focused in class. Their brain is becoming accustomed to TikTok usage. As psychologists explain, these teenagers are essentially becoming addicted to gambling. Random reinforcement is the phenomenon that makes slot machines steal an elderly woman's entire bank account, and it applies just as well to teenagers on TikTok. With every swipe, they're gambling on receiving a video that could give them a hint of satisfaction. Teens are becoming addicted to a digital slot machine with TikTok, and it's having serious effects. Teens are reporting a level of addiction to the app that can only be compared to nicotine. One teen said, after deleting TikTok, "It's so great to be able to be sleeping again starting at midnight. It's great to be able to be up early and be more productive with the sun." Is TikTok enjoyable, or is it just unbelievably addictive? Now is as good of a time as any to ask, what is the content that has been consumed in North America? Sure, there's dances, innocuous pranks, clips from TV shows, but every now and then, questionable content is being slipped in that will impact the user negatively. If you spend an hour on the app, you will surely encounter somebody sharing their experience with a diagnosed disorder: OCD, borderline personality disorder, anxiety, etc. This has led to a phenomenon experts are warning about, where teens see a symptom and assume they have the disorder. Yes, I'll say it, it's great that the app has helped normalize and destigmatize some disorders, but you can't pack in nuanced facts and information into a 15-second video. Teens will only hear the top-level symptoms of a disorder, leading many to self-diagnose, despite no medical professional ever giving them a proper evaluation. And remember, this is all from a company based out of Beijing. The algorithm, the direction of the content, how the app is used. If TikTok drives culture, which it does, what should it say that a foreign entity is controlling it? This begs the question, what is TikTok in China? How is it used for their kids? If you're under 18, Chinese TikTok Douyin shows its young users science experiments, museum exhibits, patriotism videos, and education videos. And if you're under 14, you can only use the app for 40 minutes per day. Ask yourself, what does it say that this Chinese-based company is so aware of the power and influence of their app that for the children of China, it's practically all educational and patriotism-geared content? Now, ask yourself, what does it say if they allow the TikTok in the United States to be practically the polar opposite? And who is getting the data from these young users? Many are worried that it could be handed straight over to the CCP. Here's a fun fact for you. The app Musical.ly, that blew up in middle schools and was acquired by ByteDance, later turned into TikTok. That app was actually sued by the FTC for collection of children's data. They were Shanghai-based. Studies of the top 10 social apps show that TikTok is the top app in collecting user data, IP addresses, location, search history, and users' activity, even as a user navigates outside of the app. Yes, Facebook and Instagram are known for doing much of the same activities. Apps that rely on advertising will stalk you like a deranged ex-lover, but there are two key differences with TikTok. One, experts say that TikTok is the most egregious in their data collection, collecting the most, all the while being the most secretive and protective over their source code. 2. Chinese tech companies are known for working hand in hand with the CCP. Try talking about an event that paints the CCP in a negative light on Chinese social media. Your account will be taken down. Chinese tech companies must work with the CCP to censor and surveil speech that may pose a challenge to the authority of the government. If they have this level of control, how about user data? If the CCP knocked on the door of ByteDance and asked for the data of its young US users, do you think the company would tell the government to go away? It's clear that the app knows what it's doing. It is an attention vacuum for teens in America and is clearly causing them more harm than good. TikTok in China wouldn't be an educational resource for kids unless they knew how influential the platform was. The #1 job aspiration amongst children in China? To be an astronaut. The #1 aspiration for children in the US? To be an influencer. TikTok is not a force for good, and something needs to be done. If you enjoyed this video, watch my analysis of the brutal collapse that Netflix is facing. Linked here.